Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Night Crew. We talk about current events and hot items in the news. We've got a great bunch of panelists with us tonight. Kentucky guys back with us. And Queen Angela is joining us for the first time. Lamar Callahan and Michael D. Landingham. And I'm Steve Holder, your host. So glad you could make it tonight. And we have some exciting topics to talk about. So let's jump in there, see what we got going on. Okay, the first topic is Kim Jong Un and Vladimir Putin meet for hours. North Korea's Kim Jong Un and Russian President Vladimir Putin met for about 5 hours on Wednesday, touring a space base in Russia's Far East and signaling a unified front against the West. The North Korean leader said his country supported Russia's invasion of neighboring Ukraine. Russia has risen to a sacred fight to its sovereignty and security against the hegemonic forces, he said. North Korea supports all Putin's decisions. Now that scares a lot of people right there, that North Korea and Russia are teaming up together, and now Kim Jong Un has sworn his support to Putin unconditionally, and they totally support Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So, does that make anybody else nervous? Who wants to jump on that?
That's
Kentucky guy?
well. I mean, they've always been, tied up with, Kim Jong Un and Putin. His faction been tied up together for years. So only because of the war in Ukraine, the completion of their stockpiles of weapons is the reason why mainly they're reaching out to North Korea. But overall, we must have to take a look at China, because also I saw some studies where China can send weapons through North Korea and work around the UN resolution about giving weapons and whatnot. That's why the White House is complaining. And when Russia comes to ask for the weapons from North Korea, they also get the weapons from China as well, because actually their weapons do come from North Korea. Weapons do come from China mainly, even the nuclear technology that they're having right now. Currently, we have a nuclear watchdog plane or something from us flying over, near the DMZ and beyond the shores of North Korea to see if they might be testing their nuclear test they're supposed to do it underground. Earlier this year they mentioned that. So a lot of things are about to happen pretty soon. So this right here is just a tall tale sign. Like where they met was where the main like NASA for Russia. So like how Cape Canaveral, Florida. That's how in Russia that's how they went to. I mean where Kim went to. So overall, we got to take this seriously, because if there's any exchange of real technology where like satellites and whatnot that North Koreans can get off of Russia, it's a possibility they can almost be as equal as us on precise targeting and outmaneuvering our defenses to our defenses about towards us. So we should take this very seriously, and we should not sleep about this. We should really tell North Korea, we're not playing. You've been threatening us for 20 years. You've been taking advantage of on both parties, and they smell blood. They smell weakness because we're going through. But don't disturb our divisionary situation that we're going through. Like we still whoop the ass. I just want to put that out there. So I suggest to North Korea that and Russia that y'all playing hardball, and that's how I feel about it.
All right. Kentucky guy?
I think it's a very, very dangerous game that we've been playing with Russia and this whole Ukraine thing. Now that we have North Korea involved, and they are not our friends, let's just be honest about it. And they are still going against all of our regulations and still testing weapons because we have a weak president. We have a weak administration, and they see the opportunity. They would have never done this 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So, anyways, we've got to be on guard because this is. Here's the problem. I'm on social media and I'm on the internet quite a bit in political rooms and things like that. Just basically not even talking, just reading. There are a lot of people, higher ups as well, not taking this as seriously as they should. That's a mistake. This is more important right now than what happened earlier with Hunter Biden and him being indicted. We need to really take a look at this. And just like you said, I agree with you on that. We need to have someone strong in this administration stand up and say, look, you've broken your promises. You keep testing weapons. It's got to stop, and it's got to stop now.
Right.
Remember one thing: China and Russia, the two presidents, Putin and Xi, they have built a coalition as well. Now,
Right.
if you have Russia, China, and North Korea, watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out.
That's dangerous.
They've been. Here's the thing. The only difference is they're broadcasting it. They've always had that back and that connection. North Korea wouldn't have all that technology of nuclear tests and rocket tests, and tests with nuclear missiles shooting out of submarines. That came from China. They just copycat that. So that's the honest truth. So they're just out loud saying, "Yeah, now what, America?" Well, clearly, it's not going to work.
Yeah, the problem is, man, is now they're putting it in our face because they're brave.
Yeah.
And once you get brave and you start building confidence, watch out. It's bad news.
And as long as we continue to show weakness, and both leadership in both parties won't allow new, fresh, young leadership to take the hold. Because the older generation will screw this up. The ones who are in power, they screw this up to make it even impossible for us to. I'm not saying, well, it's possible. I want to, I'm not going to say like a mission impossible thing, but the longer it continues to go on without them like saying, "All right, we're gonna step aside," but they're not. They're too hung up on power, and I'll pay a cost before the fireworks really hit.
Okay. Angela, would you like to weigh in on that?
Well, I agree with you guys. It is a serious issue, and I think that they do need to take it serious. It's like they just being nonchalant, and it's a lot of lives at stake. So I agree with you guys.
Okay, absolutely. I think we lost Lamar. He must have lost his connection. Maybe he'll be back.
Yeah, it looked like he lost a connection for him. It did that earlier.
Everybody ready to go to the next topic?
I will say this before we continue with that topic with leadership, our current leadership. As we saw what happened in Vietnam and how tired Joe Biden looked, the whole world looks at America now as old and tired. They believe in the American people, that we're young and youthful and progressive, and we can bring the world together if we all get rid of the system almost. The leadership, not the overall government. But the leadership is the problem. And they're too afraid that they're too old and living back in the time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, all old people ain't the same. But these individuals cannot meet the challenges for the 21st century. The dangers that we face right now is unfathomable of what they know behind the scenes that they're not telling. So I kind of got a gist of it because I know I'm running for president. So I study this in great detail, and knowing what will happen if I become president and have the opportunity by the American people. What I would experience after, when 2025 is. I'm looking at right now. It's kind of like world chess in the sense. So we got to have real strong leadership. Our party leadership have to realize that the people want somebody new. I think Landon Howe could be the key for that. With your help and new and other leaders that can come out from the shadows and help.
All righty. And next on the agenda, the deadly flooding in eastern Libya. Following a civil war and political standoff that has lasted almost a decade, Libya is struggling to deal with catastrophic flood that is believed to have killed at least 5,300 people and left over 10,000 missing in the country's northeast. The destruction appears greatest in Derna, a city in the east of the country, where local media said the situation was catastrophic, with no electricity or communications. With the city in desperate need of aid, it is unclear how it will be delivered and distributed, since Derna lies in the parts of the country controlled by a government most of the international community doesn't recognize. Yeah, they've had a civil war in Libya for, I don't know, I guess 10 years or more now. And now they get this flood that's washed away so much of the countryside, killed 5,300 people at least, and over 10,000 missing. And I've seen some of the news on it on TV, and it's horrible. It looks like a bomb landed on the town of Derna. And so they're going to need a whole lot of help from a lot of different countries. So I really feel for them people. I really do. So what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, and the last I heard, it was 11,000 people that were dead. I think it was 11,300.
Oh, really?
And they said it was
Okay.
10,000 missing.
Wow.
But yeah, and a lot of that could have been prevented if they had listened about that dam, because there was a dam that it reminded me of what happened in New Orleans with that with them not preparing those things to the dam, and that's what caused a lot of that flooding. From what I read and what I saw in a couple of YouTube videos. But yeah, it's sad, and they're gonna need a lot of help. But just to see how those bodies was washing up on it was just bodies just washing up on the side of the it was sad. But,
yeah, they said bodies were washed ashore, and it looked like a bomb hit in that area. It's weird.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. I couldn't believe what I saw, the devastation. And you were right. You're right, Angela, about those dams. I think it was like one or two or three. I think it was three. And they were weak because of the levee that has been like deprived for years. But global warming has a main factor about it, because of the weight of the extra rain that's falling, onto the land. That kind of broke everything down. So, but it's terrible sign to see, and I pray for the families of the lost things. And I hope they can find everybody. I hope there's still some people somewhere alive, somewhere. But how you just said they just walking up on the shore, that's just, I've never heard nothing like that.
Well, I hope they get all the aid from other countries they need, because they're going to need a lot.
Yeah, it's it's just a sad situation, right? It's devastating, and you're right. It does remind me a lot of Katrina as well, that happened in New Orleans, and the only thing that we can possibly do, as far as individuals that are listening to this and us here on the panel, is just keep these guys in our prayers, and do what we can. I know that we have FEMA is starting to help, I guess, but it just seems like we're so slow to react to this kind of stuff here lately, even if it is in other countries. And that's got to change. We've got to get back. We were always first. That's why we were considered a superpower. We took care of everybody else, and we were first to jump in line and do that. We've not done that in the last 3 years, and it's being noticed. So, know,
Well,
and
I
there you
wish
are.
you well.
Well, I would say also where you were speaking about, brother. It's yeah, it's been longer than 3 years. I mean, even under before COVID and all that. I mean, we've done some things, but remember what happened down in Puerto Rico, the slow response under President Trump. So it's way before Trump. I think Obama was the last one that there wasn't no slow response, except it's supposed to be the oil spill, but it's bad. Hurricanes and whatnot. It's not about who's at fault. It's about the weather. It's getting worse, and no matter um, what we may think about when we're used to how these kind of weather phenomena hit. We keep thinking it's the same old. There's a little intensity, but it's much more than that. And our current systems of protecting us from levees, and I mean, even in those countries, it's way out of date. And the whole global initiative about helping development and rebuild certain bridges and dams or whatever, huge multi-trillion-dollar endeavor worldwide to create jobs and prosperity and whatnot. But like I said, the climate has a big factor on why some even here in America of our systems are failing. Uh, you know, so I mean, we're failing because we got weak leaders and their greed and their blindness is making them do terrible things. Not concentrate on the future instead of always focusing on the past.
All right. Let's see what's next on the agenda. And accused of trafficking fentanyl to Pittsburgh released on no cash bail, fails to show up for court. A New York man caught last month at Pittsburgh's Greyhound bus station more than $1 million worth of fentanyl, and who was subsequently released on non-monetary bail by a district judge, failed to show up for hearing Monday in Common Pleas Court. The Monday hearing was requested by the district attorney's office to review the fact that Jan Carlos Picardo Cepeda had been released from the Allegheny County Jail without having to pay up any bail money, despite the gravity of the drug charges against him. Cepeda was arrested outside the downtown Pittsburgh bus station August 31st after officers noted alleged suspicious behavior. This is one of those strange stories that I wonder, well, how could this happen? And, they require a lot of bail money to let a drunk out on sometime. But this guy was arrested for over $1 million worth of fentanyl that's killing people all over the country, left and right. And they just let him go without charging about any cash bail. So I don't know. How did that happen, do you think? What's up with that?
Well, I'll if somebody else can start, I'll wait. I was about to say that
Go ahead.
let me just put it right quick. I think it just hit me. I think that the reason why he had that $1 million worth of funding, right? So it had to come from somewhere. So they probably come to deal and say, look, you help us try to find out where you got it from. And he probably told them stuff like it's a big thing, and this is the main artery of where the fentanyl is coming from, the people from Mexico and whatnot. And they both because of some kind of CI.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
Then
So
he did.
So we hear this a lot, that we've got to get back to our grassroots, right? We've got to get back to our, who we elect in office and make sure we go all the way back. This is a perfect example of that. when it comes to local, your attorney generals have so much more power than what people realize in states. And right now, I would guarantee you that this state has a weak attorney general and probably some weak judges as well. This should have never happened. This is the kind of stuff that ticks me off, because now we're going to hear of this guy down the road. We're going to hear him again. He's going to get busted again. This time it's going to kill somebody's son or daughter with these horrible drugs. And we're going to just turn them loose back on the streets, slap on the wrist. Come on. What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's hard to believe, ain't it? It really is hard to believe. Because I see people here locally that are arrested for, something pretty trivial. Drunk driving, I mean, I know that's serious, but compared to what they got this guy with, it's nothing. But there's sometimes a required $10,000 bond to get that person out of jail. And this guy gets out without any. I think he must have some friends in high places, or maybe he's a rich guy or something. I don't know.
Or he's on the right party in that state.
Could be. Anything else on that? Okay, let's go to the next one. Ukraine launched missiles and unmanned boats in attack on Black Sea Fleet in Crimea. The attack caused a large fire at a Sevastopol shipyard, which left 24 people injured, Russia said. Moscow installed Governor Mikhail Razvashev claimed most of the weapons were intercepted, but that 2 ships had been damaged. A large landing ship named the Minsk and a submarine called the Rostov-on-Don, both thought to be in dry dock, are said to have been damaged. This makes it one of Ukraine's most significant attacks so far on the Black Sea Fleet. According to state-run RIA Novosti news agency, the Russian Defense Ministry said both vessels will be fully repaired and continue in normal service. So, is Ukraine getting more aggressive, you think? Does it seem like they're getting more aggressive? I think they are. And that kind of goes back to the conference thing, Kentucky I was talking about. They're getting all this help from so many different countries. I mean, they've got billions and billions of dollars for the United States alone. So, it seems to me like we got a world war going on already. So what do you guys think? What do you think, Mike?
I believe that it took time for these people to get there. They announced it months ago, so of course they had to do the planning and the set up on certain positions where the Russians wouldn't be able to see them on the satellites. So that's how those missiles. I think it was 10 of them, 10 cruise missiles. So they got plenty of them set up. But here's the thing I said earlier yesterday on my show, yesterday morning. I said now, when people say we shouldn't be out there helping Ukraine because of what Russia's doing, I understand their clarity about that. The best knowledge they get, they go with it. I understand that, but we've already been at almost an in facto war, if it's such of a word. If it's not, I'm just making it up. Which means was the whole thing about Russia and Trump and the infiltration of other Republicans that visited Russia right after when Trump became president. I had to look at the whole thing, and it's tied into all of this. We already been at war with Russia in many respects. Not like the nuclear war, but we've already been like. But now this is the next step. Do you want to come at my stuff? Then we get in your backyard, and this is way before Ukraine. This is way before we talking about Ukraine when Trump came on the scene. So. And other Republicans that allow the ones that are speaking. I'm not talking about the voters. I'm talking about the leadership. That's the problem. the loudest ones that are yelling and shouting for more for Russia and Trump. And then you got President Putin the other day live talking about why y'all going after President Trump? Come on, he's a cool dude. Let off of him. And then when you have that, that's backing somebody, there's all these questionable actions against him, 91 felonies against him, been impeached twice, started an insurrection, almost killed me. So they're come on, the proof is out there. And America, this is the reason why I believe America is in the fight, because we got to be. Don't mess around with a rattlesnake, because you will get bitten. That's all I got to say about that.
Hey, Kentucky guy.
Well, let's see here. So the first thing is on this. I've got to address this. Putin was talking about these horrible indictments that they're bringing against Trump. That's what he's referring to.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would you bring it up? If he hadn't had nothing to do with for him to become president in 2016, wouldn't interfere, which he did, by going after the Democrats and their files and stuff, which they did. That was like 10 times worse than what Nixon was
never proven. Never proven. It was all Russia hoax.
It's not a Russian hoax when we look at it, we see it, and we feel it. I feel it. I can see a duck walking and with their ducklings, I know it's a duck. It's walking like a duck, it's talking like a duck, it's scrapping like a duck. It's a duck. And you tell me it's not a duck.
I'm telling you that I go by facts, and there's not been one single proof. So
the proof is in the pudding, what you see. Don't let you don't
you're falling for the propaganda machine, my friend.
No, I'm a presidential candidate, and I'm threatened by Trump. So I got more proof that Trump ain't nothing but a this and that and the other. But I got actual proof. You can't send military assets. Wait, you can't send the military after me, dude. And I got police records about that. So you can say what you want. But when
I've read your case, I know. And I'm not saying Trump's a good guy. I'm just saying anybody deserves the truth.
Then look what he does. It doesn't matter about everything else. He's already crossed the threshold of I don't give a damn. He's done that. And that's why Putin is backing him, because he wants him back in there so he can take over Ukraine. Trump wanted Trump to get back in there so he can take over Ukraine. When Trump was in there, he was already talking about leaving NATO.
They would have never, if Trump was still president, they would have never invaded Ukraine.
Yeah, but no, they have to invade it. They just walk in. They wouldn't have the weapons. The weapons we gave them, that's the reason why they ain't took over yet. If Trump was in there, they wouldn't have gave them the weapons. Period.
He wouldn't have had to, because it would have never got this far.
That's just facts. I'm sorry, brother. I'm not, you know, I believe I'm not knocking you.
He's a lot stronger than the leader we have.
I don't like our adversaries and our enemies like embracing a president, which this president don't even like care about the American people. He can lie and sit there and he say care and say he's going after. They're coming after me because they want to come after you for what? Did you have secret documents? Did you start an insurrection? Did you have people killed on January 6th? Did you send helicopters after me on December 10th, 2018, way before all this stuff? No, you did not. So how the government's coming after you? And anything is bull crap. All of it's been bull crap from the start. And I maybe I shouldn't get on because I'm upset about some other stuff, but forget it. This has to end. All these lies and all this fear mongering and all this divisionary tactics is just for a few people to stay in power, and we stand in the wind trying to figure out what's up and what's down and what's right and what's wrong. And I'm sick of it. I feel your passion that you believe what you believe, but like I said earlier, Russia already factually started a war with us by invading our elections. If we did them, they'd have nuked us by now. So why we got to sit here all weak and not brave and not stand up? Because we don't have a leadership to tell us the truth, and they got to divide and conquer. That's all I got. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm sorry. That right there. That's you don't involve yourself in our elections. Period. I don't give a damn who you are. And they did. That's proof. And I'm tired of the excuses. I'm not from you. We're American. We're trying to figure this out. We're talking it out. But the politicians are the ones who've been lying and keeping that damn lie going. Until we all wake up. we're going to fall.
I agree. We all need to wake up. A lot of Americans still asleep.
Not asleep. They're just afraid to actually, like, it's too
They've
much.
been brainwashed, man.
I wouldn't say brainwash. I'm trying to be kind with my words. I never attack somebody, like when Biden attacked the damn country.
The brainwash, somebody being brainwashed, that's not being negative towards them. They can't help that. But I'm talking about this stuff's been indoctrinated right from grade school on up.
Yeah.
Don't question it, just follow.
Well, that's why they raised the age limit to 25 in the Department of Education. And you're on your own, kids. You and then whatever you learn, you're gonna be grown with the knowledge you hopefully learned enough to survive in the new world. So that's the plan. Oh, I'm sorry, Russia's plan. Since we're so divided, we can't see. Luckily.
To weigh in on this?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Angela, you got anything about it? You want to chime in?
Nah, I'm gonna pass on this one.
Okay. What do you think about the part where it says state-run RIA Novosti? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. The news agency, the Russian defense ministry said both vessels will be fully repaired and continue in normal service. I'm not familiar with this RIA Novosti. Have either of you ever heard of that?
Vaguely. I think early on when it was about finding somebody to call in Crimea, right? I think it's in Crimea. I can't say the word right now. But down there, and I remember the report that was said that the two cruise missiles hit those two ships that were being fixed, and they're more damaged now than before. But that's the weapons are not coming in, so I mean it's going to be more of this going on during the winter. You think that usually like last year during the start of the war, it's kind of muddy and slow because of the weather. But I think they have enough equipment there to make a real defense. But I'm really questioning about the weapons hidden inside of Russia and Moscow. I know it should be an eye for an eye. That's what they would have been because of the pain and destruction of civilians in Ukraine on their back. So they got to do something. So, but our weapons are being used in Russia. And I mean, to defend Ukraine, knock them out, defend there, build a shield, no-fly zone, but that's what I would have done early, no-fly zone, no matter what the Russians said. Because you flying across our ships and our, aircraft and all that, I don't like that. So sometimes you got to step up, to see how it goes. But that's what I would have done. But now the weapons, I believe, that would be more of an excuse for Russia they already activated their weapons, their nuclear defense, their nuclear forces. So at the highest I've ever had, I think 3 or 4 days ago. So more fireworks about to hit off. Hopefully not nuclear, but just more of the Ukrainians are going to really step the game up like we've never seen, just like this here. And we're going to see more of it soon.
Yeah, they said this is the most significant attack so far on the Black Sea Fleet. Doesn't that sound like everything is really heating up and they're getting more aggressive?
Yeah. 100%. They have no choice. They're killing women, children, families, destroying civilian infrastructure, hospitals, schools. They've been tired. It's been over a year of that. They're tired. They're not going to be taken over. They'd rather die than be oppressed. I think we would agree the same damn way. And what was our old motto? Give me liberty or give me death. So they will continue to fight.
Do you think it's just the media that we've been hearing, or do you think it's shifted that Ukraine is now on the proactive side and Russia's on the defense side? It kind of seems like here lately we've heard more about Ukraine launching missiles than we have about Russians launching missiles.
Well, there's been depletion of the Russian artillery and weapons and stockpile. That's why they're in Russia. I mean, the North Korea Kim Jong Chairman Kim is in Russia, and to immediately get weapons and the crosshair of that is getting technology for their satellites and all the other stuff with nuclear technology. So it's a dangerous period. What we just saw, like I said earlier, but with this, the Ukrainians know this. We know this. It's a universal fight because if we stand down, Russia will take over. China will back Russia then because we stand back. North Korea would already been in the back pocket and then take over South Korea if we became, showing more we did. But that's why I just think that America's got to stand up around with our allies and with the Ukrainians because they are already getting an impact door and especially affecting our election. So that's that.
And it said that the Russian Defense Ministry said both of the vessels will be fully repaired and considered in normal service. Now, I'm not an expert on Russian submarines, but I would imagine that would take a long time, probably, don't you think?
Yeah, I would. I would think that would take longer than that. I tell you, the reason why I haven't smoked much on this one is just to be honest with you. I don't know if we'll ever know really what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, I don't think we've ever gotten the full story. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I do know that that medias in other countries, just like ours, are not in our best interest. So yeah, I don't know if we'll ever find, maybe when it, 20 years down the road,
Yeah.
but I don't know if we'll ever know what really happened over there.
Yeah, people are still arguing over whether JFK was shot by one person or there was several of them, so who knows if we'll ever get the truth about any of this stuff.
But overall, this situation, yeah, that's gonna take a while for them ships to be returned. Remember the flagship got attacked. Remember that the main flagship got attacked. It's still being repaired. I mean, hell, they got an aircraft carrier that caught on fire twice, and they're still working on it. So I'm not really too worried about what they say about keep in a record amount of time because they haven't shown nothing over the years.
All righty. Let's see what's up next. We're moving through these things fast tonight. Growing vulnerabilities in U.S. Treasury market. Everybody's worried about the economy these days, so let's check this out. In March 2020, at the start of the pandemic, the $22 trillion U.S. Treasury market where U.S. government debt is bought and sold froze. It threatened to set off a global crisis potentially worse than the financial market meltdown of 2008. So the stability was only restored to the world's most important financial market through a massive intervention by the U.S. Federal Reserve, which pumped in around $4 trillion, essentially becoming the backstop for the entire financial system. Writing in the Financial Times last week, columnist Gillian Tett pointed to a report by the U.S. Federal Reserve which indicated that conditions in the Treasury market were beginning to resemble those that preceded and helped spark the March 2020 crisis. So this sounds like we're in for a really, really rough time with the economy. And I know there's a lot of people really struggling right now. And we keep hearing rumors and rumors about it getting worse in different areas. I've heard on the news about some people saying there's going to be a food shortage. And of course, now sometime tonight, by midnight, if there's not a deal made with the UAW union, then they're going to go on strike at midnight tonight. and they say they're going to hit all three of the major car headquarters. So this could be a big thing out there that could motivate a whole lot of people to do a lot of crazy things. So what do you think?
I think that it, there's an old saying that it's always darkest before dawn, and I don't think we've seen the true. I mean, I talked the food shortage and everything you're talking about, and a lot of things that have happened, including the indictments that have happened here in the last couple months. If you'll go on my podcast and we'll go back to last year, I talked about all this stuff. This has been in the works. This has all been planned, and it's going to get rough. It's going to get rougher. We have people right now that used to make good money that are starving, and
Yeah.
it's just such a sad thing. That's why this kid, this Oliver Anthony, uh, he wrote a song and he performed it and filmed it in his backyard in West Virginia, and that's why it was #1 on the top 100 board. And he's private, he's independent for 2 weeks in a row because it talks about things like this. If you think you're alone in this suffering, you're not. It's everybody. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. Everybody's feeling this effect, and I don't see us moving out of this, not under this current administration whatsoever. It seems
Right.
like sometimes I wonder if they're for American last. Some of the decisions I've seen here lately. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you said they planned this for a long time, Kentucky guy. What do you mean by that?
Well, when you look at if you look if and by the way, I'm going to go ahead and say this, Steve, because I say it on my show all the time. Whatever someone says on this show or any other show or on the news or what have you, don't take their word for it. Go do your research yourself. Go find out
Yeah.
your facts. So don't take my word for any of this. Go follow behind me and research it. I have a team that does that for me. So, but anyways, uh, so many food processing plants and like that mysteriously, and I'm talking about not just one or two, hundreds, mysteriously caught on fire last year. There were farmers whose crops mysteriously, ended up in with the one thing over at the antifreeze, and ended up dying. You see what I'm saying? So all this stuff is not mysterious. This was all planned out.
I
Why do you
agree.
why do you think that Bill Gates owns 32% of our farmland? And guess who owns 23%?
China.
China.
Yeah.
China, absolutely.
Yeah. I ain't like that. I heard about that. I didn't like it as well.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
they want this artificial meat, and I'm not eating that stuff, man. That's what they want, and they want to keep the real stuff for themselves.
I won't try that. The only time I eat something like that is they, how they got that thing on Star Trek, the food processor. That's
Yep.
probably the only way I'll do that. So
Yeah.
I eat the old fashioned way. Cut up the cow and get it ready. Get
Me
the
too.
steak.
And everybody, and I advise everybody, get to know a local farmer, become buddies with them. It's very important because you're going to be dependent on that guy sooner or later.
Also, start learning how to do your own growing and cultivate it at home. I was raised in Alabama in the South, and my grandmother and great grandmother used to had a big garden. We had flowers over the house. We had this big garden of corn and okra and the black eyed peas, sweet peas, all that stuff. And so we had a garden, and we used to go. My uncle them used to deer meat. I didn't like it, so sorry, I don't eat Bambi. And that's how I feel. And but anyway, yeah, but we have to get back to learning that because what we see before our eyes right now. I remember earlier they said this year that we thought the economy was going to collapse, but it looks like it's not. But now we've seen all the lack of leadership when it comes to the UAW strike that's about to happen. That might almost do a damn big dent in the economy overall. And but greed has played a part of why this has led up before the pandemic, just like I just said. So I mean, at the after effects, we're still trying to overcome that. When we put an trillion hole into the deficit. We took out 1.5 or 1.8, whatever it is, under Biden, but we're spending a little bit more, almost leading that. So we're what we just $200 million minus, or $200 billion minus, something like that. So, I mean, this is gonna hit us hard, and we might end up like Truman, not Truman, excuse me, Hoover. Far worse than that, because we're more interconnected now. And the bricks that are taking away the dollar, trying to weaken the dollar, we're going to get hit hard. We may not. It's not going to be the same if we falter like this.
So what do you think the strike possibilities tonight? Do you think that's going to happen? Will that have a big effect on us?
No, I mean, we got the right leadership. If I had in there, I had myself in there, the right team that believes in an economic future for all, and I can explain it in great detail with math and facts. And the older heads of the generation back then, they're still thinking that the world was still the same, it's still the same like it is, now, back then, but it's not. And I've experienced it, living every day, going to the grocery store, buying supplies for the house, paying the bills. It has become a huge drain on my pocket at the same time trying to get my story out and do this and do that. So I'm really hampered. So I can only imagine a family of 4 or 5 or single family back and forth, doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, black or white or whatever. We all are feeling the pain, and it seems like we're sleepwalking into this, and under the Biden administration. And like I said, if we have real sound leadership, I know we can turn it around. I believe Manningham, the president, is the key.
Hey, do you think? What's your thoughts on the petrodollar? You think it's going to collapse, or?
Well, the petrodollar started because we was giving weapons and protection to Saudi Arabia and the other Gulf states. That's why we attacked a few of them, because they was threatening the dollar early on. I think under Obama, right?
The petrodollar, the American dollar is what I'm referring to.
Yeah, the petrodollar, American dollar. We printed. What happened with a little history lesson? Anybody don't know about it? We were under the gold standard at the time before the Vietnam War. So everybody had brought their gold here, and we put it in our safes and vaults in Kentucky, and Fort Knox. And we promised that we're not going to print more money than the gold that we have, right? But during the Vietnam War, we printed way more money, and they asked Nixon for the gold back, and he said, "Hell no, I'm keeping it." So we was almost on an economic collapse, just like what just hit, during the 2020 situation in March. But that's when he reached out to the Gulf states and Saudi Arabia, and they took us off the gold standard to the petrodollar. So the petrodollar is about oil, and oil has been sold in U.S. dollars. So each nation of the Gulf states have to, people who wanted to buy oil have to be, buy the dollar in order to buy the oil, and that backs our dollar. With that being decoupling right now, and the only reason why, because we don't have the leadership to wake up and see what's going on. We're still thinking it's not going to happen. We got no, they're working hard and diligently to take us out in every which way, and we can't see it because we're too divided and too afraid of one another. And we got to have real leadership that can bring out truth and show really who's our threat. And some of it is inside our country, but it's not the people, because we disagree. Then damn thing to me. We can disagree, but we can sit here and talk. Might drink a beer, might smoke a blunt, whatever you do. But to talk it out is the best way to figure out the best ideas and common ground solutions that can bring us all together and solve our problems.
Right, but do you think it's going to be worthless sooner or later? The reason why I ask is I'm kind of concerned. I'm concerned about it because these other countries right now, you have China, Russia, Brazil, and another country out there that have dropped. Kenya, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
that's all I can think. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. They have completely done away with the U.S. dollar, so that's huge, man, because they're the oil suppliers. So
they completely done away with it.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I didn't know about that. I thought they still had the dollar. They still sell. I thought the Saudi Arabia still sell their oil in dollars. That's what because the ruble, they wouldn't do it in ruble because the ruble is like done. So, but I think overall with Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry. I know what I was going to say. As president, the only thing that we're missing of America is Africa, the whole continent of Africa. They want to combine and unite, but they're combining and uniting behind the wrong players. That's China and Russia. Right? So if my situation came out because I feel like a lot of things are tied in with my story. That's the reason why they're blocking, because they know what's going to happen. But as president, I will work with all African countries if they want to unify and I want to see unification in Africa. That's a powerhouse if they unite. All the resources and everything like that dictates. That's the reason why China and Russia has struggled, not struggled, but quickly came over to Africa and South Africa and South America and all these other countries. But if America changed with a real sound and new, fresh leadership with new ideas about unity, not just here in this country, about the world. Not just in this country, but around the world. It could be possible that we can save the dollar.
Yeah,
but
now
we have to come up with a new way of like including everybody. So the currency that we're going to create, the dollars that will be included is probably still going to be, but 20 years down the road after what happened, it might have to change in some degree. But still, we still have the power. The more the majority, the more the power. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. For everybody listening that's curious about this, if you want to Google it or look it up, what we're talking about, it's called the Global DE-dollarization campaign. And you'll see all these countries. Like I said, I want you guys to do your own research. But you'll see all these nations and countries that are doing away with our dollar. So kind of, I don't see that going. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that for a long time, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But it's accelerating now because they see America weak. That's the only reason. That's it.
That is correct.
All right. Angela, do you want to say anything about that? You good? Okay. All righty. Anything else on that topic? I don't think anybody answered my question about the UAW strike, the United Auto Workers. They're going to go on strike at midnight tonight.
Yeah, I want to say just 45 seconds. Lack of leadership with our president currently right now. That should have already saw the storm coming, already would have had a plan enacted between the auto dealership and with the union, since he's a union president, right? And I just think lack of leadership is going to be terrible for our economy, and it's going to be having a ripple effect throughout the world. At the same time, China, with their housing crisis, is about to be one of the biggest bubbles that ever popped economically of a downturn, and that's going to affect the world economy at the same time while we're going to do this. But we keep hurting ourselves because of lack of leadership, and that will change.
But the auto workers strike, what do you think about that?
They need to get paid. They need the money. That's all I want to say. Sorry.
No, I think you're right. I think that it comes back to leadership, just like you said. And there's no how do you let this happen? How do you let it get this far? It's what I don't understand.
Sleepwalking in there.
I mean, we're not even, and thank goodness, but we're not even in a war or anything ourselves. How do you let this at home get this far? It just blows my mind. But no, I think I support the auto workers, Steve. If they go on strike, I think it's going to hurt. But I think they need to do what they do so they can get taken care of like they should have been in the first place.
Yeah, I agree. But the billionaires that own the car, the companies, they know that they got time on their side. They got their millions rolling in, and the people walking the picket line, they may get $100 a week they're supposed to feed the family on. So right. That's the sad part of it.
Oh yeah, it's not fair, at all.
Yeah.
But I mean, once again, it comes back to our leadership, man. It should have never got this far.
You mean the leadership of the union or the leadership?
The government. Government. Yep.
Yeah, it's the government's responsibility when it comes to like that and a huge swath of Americans that work and kept the economy by I think 35-40% when it comes to auto workers with the big three. So this is going to take a huge dent and cause I think the current cars of if you're financing, through the company or something like that through a bank through the company, it'll cost more. So more cost they see on the news. So yeah, they should have had it. President Biden should have had a hand on this before. But like I said, when he looked pretty tired in Vietnam, saying he's going to bed, no problem. We can take him to bed. He can sleep all day after 24. No problem.
He didn't have his warm milk that night.
I don't know. If you're the president of the United States, you got to be ready for a 3 a.m. call. I don't care if it's in D.C. or in Hong Kong. Whenever it's 3 a.m., be up and be ready. No excuses. I think, let me just say this, and I'll get off the topic about President Biden. It just seems like to me, it's about saving the soul of America. He thinks he's the only one that can do it. We appreciate his service, but he's not enough. He's not the best of what America is, and the part of leadership is holding that back, and it will change. Especially with my story. My story is the only one that can crack it, and that's the reason why he's blocking. So.
Do we ever get the best politicians in any office, Michael? I mean, we get the rich people, the people that can afford to raise millions and millions of dollars, or they've got their teeth set into the billionaires who
Right.
have a financial stake in it. I mean, we know how that goes. We don't get the best. We get the most positioned, the people with the most power and the most money to buy the election or make enough promises to the right people that get them elected.
I agree, Steve. You're 100% right, and we haven't had really a grassroots president overall. I mean, we got Obama, but he still had some backing. CIA, great. His grandfather was in the CIA back in the day. Too many connections. Ken to Bush and Cheney at the same time. Yeah, there's too many connections overall. But I believe that I will be the first, the people's candidate, in order to go from Cleveland, Ohio, to D.C. and bring America with me. The change, the pain, the hurt, the dreams, the hopes, the ambition to make our land a hell of a lot better than we're facing now, divided. And until we have a regular Joe, a regular person in the White House that understands the plight of what we're facing, but not what both sides are saying we're each other's enemies, but what I see and my story and what happened between me and Trump and why Joe Biden in the field by blocking it. That will wake up everybody because I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Biden. I'm a little Republican, but I'm mostly a progressive Democrat, but just a little Republican mix in. That's what we need. A person that can bring us together without fear and intimidation or blame, but to learn and to grow. And that's the only way. That's the only way to go.
All righty. Let's look at our next topic. Yuri Sipko publicly denounces the war in Ukraine. You may not have ever heard of this guy. He says, as a Christian, I cannot justify the aggressive military actions that the authorities of my country are waging, he wrote. Because I'm a Christian, I must speak the truth and call for peace. The state conducts brutal repression against people who condemn the war, subjecting such people to persecution, condemning them to long prison terms. In late February, Sipko participated in an online prayer forum sponsored by Mission Eurasia, sparking the 1-year anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And he said, we continue to pray constantly for the Lord to stop this bloodshed. And we pray for God to protect Ukraine and Iranian people, Sipko said during the online event. And he was the leader of some Christian organizations over there. And I think he was the first minister to speak out publicly against Putin's regime and what's going on. So he's putting his life in danger by taking this stand. Have y'all heard anything about this?
I haven't, Stephen. I've got to drop because they're calling, ready for me to go pick them up. But anyways, it sounds like he's using his religion as a crutch, though. I don't care much for that. It's like, I want to support it, but I can't because I'm a Christian. I mean, what is that, right? So, but anyways, it was good talking to y'all tonight. Thank you.
Okay, brother. Have a good one. All righty, Angela, do you want to weigh in on that one right there? You want to say anything about that topic, Angela?
Oh, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Well, I was trying to see what it said because I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I've heard about it earlier. Um, but it's still, I know he didn't like what was going on, what was happening to Ukraine with Russia. Because you got to remember, Kiev was the original capital of Russia, and it's kind of a religious, connection with the Russian people and Ukrainian people. So he feels that connection has been severed because of President Putin and his actions. And this is, I mean, I like I said, I haven't heard about him, early on, but just recently. But I mean, there are a lot of brave Russians, patriot Russians that believe in that this what's going on is totally wrong and is attacking themselves. It's their spirit of Russia, and that's why I call Russia. I mean, Ukraine, the spirit of Russia. And they're attacking it, and that's why everybody's kind of like, one side of protecting Putin and his ideas of, bringing back the old Soviet Union, and the current youth of the Russian people that's already lost out on 30 years or so of the world that was a part of was inside Russia. The stores and the restaurants, and now it's all gone, and they feel they're isolated and they don't like it. So, but with this gentleman here, yeah, he's you gotta continue to fight as long as it's for freedom. You got to keep going, no matter the doubters, or the naysayers, or what have you. But there are a lot of people that are hurting over there, and just imagine us going through what's going on over there. You're waking up.
Well, I'm kind of proud of the guy that he's willing to stand up for what he believes in, even though he may get killed for it. It may not be a smart move politically, for him, but it's sure you got to admire his courage, or I do.
I do. I admire his courage. Great courage. I mean, he has no choice. When you have no choice to survive, you can do amazing things you never thought you could do. It just comes out. You just do it, and it inspires a lot of people to fight on with you. And but I really continue. I really pray and hope that he stays protected and waking enough people to join his cause to try to stop this war from within.
All right. You got anything else on that, Angela?
Well, like he was saying, I thank him for standing up in whatever he believe in. I mean, he believed that it's wrong, so he's standing on that. Because oftentimes we seem to just want to go along with what everybody else is doing instead of standing up for what we believe in. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it take courage for him to do that.
And sometimes it
That's
takes a
all.
lot of courage just to stand up for what you believe in, doesn't it?
Yeah, a whole lot.
Oh yeah, I kind of know firsthand from that. Yeah.
All righty, let's see what's next on the agenda. Actually, the last one we have on here. Trump privately encourages the GOP lawmakers to impeach Biden. What a surprise, right? On a sweeping patio overlooking the golf course at his private club in Bedminster, New Jersey, former President Donald Trump dined Sunday night with a close political ally, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. It was a chance for the former president to catch up with the hard right Georgia Congresswoman, but over halibut and Diet Coke, Greene brought up an issue of considerable interest to Trump: the push by House Republicans to impeach his likely opponent in next year's election. I did brief him on the strategy that I want to see laid out with impeachment, Greene said in a brief phone interview. All right. You know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's something else, I'm telling you. She's a big instigator, and I guess you could call her an official Biden hater. And we know who Trump is, and I think this whole thing of them wanting to impeach Biden is just revenge. I don't think there's any valid reason for them to do that other than it's just political, and it's just revenge, getting back on them. That's what I think. How do you all see that?
Well, honestly, I mean, it's been a setup all the time, and I mean, she's part of the whole January 6th thing, so she's definitely Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call it Trader Greene, so her middle name, but she had a hand in January 6th. That's why she's nervous, and she's already been under oath lying about contacts from different people about January 6th, setting everything up and what have you. So I think that Trump is really thinking about who could be his next VP. He's already thinking about the senator from North or South Dakota. Which one? North or South Dakota? Governor Norm? South Dakota. That's South Dakota. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, and what's the other one? Kari Lake. So he's thinking about getting a woman. And I think this is you're going to see. I mean, Kari Lake's already been at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, well, this is in Bedminster. Excuse me. Well, okay, Kari Lake was in Mar-a-Lago, but wasn't displayed all like that. But I think she'll probably go to Bedminster, and then whoever else that he may consider to be a VP. But I think it's just a feeling, just to fill her out to see if possibly she can be his VP. That's the gist of I get out of this. But also with the impeachment, I almost forgot the impeachment. That overall, I mean, it's political. It's just payback. You know, they're saying that Democrats, made all this up about Trump, and they know they did, because you can see and hear Trump of what he's done and said. He tells himself. So they're trying to make Biden as look as equally bad as possible, so they can think they can get the middle ground, the independents, on board, where they have no other choice but to pick Trump or Biden, right? So I think they're betting on that to make, no matter what pain we go through, no matter if the government shuts down, no matter what what's about to happen, we're going to take a hit just because of certain people that are trying to get evil people in power. When it's about Trump, not Biden. That's what I think.
What do you think, Angela?
Yeah, I think it's revenge. They're trying to make it about revenge. Because nobody seemed to think that Trump did what he did, but he did. And It is what it is. So I think it's revenge.
Yeah. Did y'all hear that Hunter Biden got indicted today?
No, I didn't hear that. I mean, I mean, it's not like, here's the thing, and here's the confusion and what we see on the news and everything, what the right is saying, and politicians in DC. Hunter Biden has never worked inside the United States government, not at the White House, didn't make any money off of working in the White House. He may make money who his dad was back when he was VP, but and a few other things. But that I don't see it as a huge threat of how Donald Trump is doing. Intentionally taking records, intentionally telling our foes about our secrets and our weaknesses, intentionally lying to his constituents to fear them into doing something that we never seen what happened. You know what happened during the January 6th riot or insurrection. Um, I just think if we don't change course soon with new leadership, it's going to get worse. Getting better. It's not gonna get any better if we don't change course.
You know, I think Hunter Biden is probably guilty of a lot of things, but again, the fact that they're going after him, I think, is also revenge. I mean, he has nothing to do with how the country is run. I don't can't think of any other reason why the Republican senators and congressmen would be interested in indicting him so much. I mean, it's just to embarrass Joe Biden, and it's a distraction.
That was only the main weakness is his son. That's the only reason they're going after him like that. And the Democrats they're kind of speaking more up about what about Jared Kushner? He worked in the White House and got $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. You know, and how much did he give to Trump? Or was it $2 billion directly from Trump, and he just gave it to Jared, just to not make it look bad, like it's coming. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about these things. So when the Republicans are opening up doors, Pandora's box, it's far worse for them than when they claim about Democrats. So that's what I think they're just reflecting of their actions and what they're doing, saying that's what Democrats are doing. But that's what they need to look at. I mean, Democrats need to attack. You can't do it because your leader is weak. He's sleeping. He's going to go to bed. But if I was leader of that party and president, I would have told them to attack. Go after them and show them their wrongs on their side. You talking about a speck in my eye and you got a plank in yours? What kind of sense that makes?
Well, it's also nothing unusual for a president's family member to embarrass them. Remember Billy Carter? It was a constant thorn in the side of Jimmy Carter. Billy was out getting drunk and everything, and that was a big mess.
I wasn't then. He had a son. I didn't know he had a son.
You don't remember Billy Carter?
No, I was before my time.
Oh, okay.
I'm Reagan. I'm a Reagan boy. They call me from the Reagan era.
Okay. Angela, tell us something about you, since we went through all of our articles, and I'm very interested to learn more about you and what you do, if you don't mind telling us.
So I am. I also have a podcast. I actually have a little small network. There's probably about 7. I have 7 hosts. So we talk about different subjects. I'm an author. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I advocate for different things. I work with some individuals that's incarcerated, so I do a lot of prison ministry. Matter of fact, I have someone that's calling me, so I'm gonna have to jump off. But I do a lot. I have my hands in a lot. I graduate on Saturday, so I'm getting ready to graduate with honors.
All right. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be the change that I want to see in this world. So that's what I talk about a lot. Us walking in our purpose and us doing the things that we've been placed here to do. So I didn't chime in on a lot of the topics tonight because I didn't know a lot about those topics.
Okay.
But I enjoyed being on here tonight and being able to sit in and to listen. Some of those things I do need to know more about. So it was just it was a chance for me to open up my eyes. But I thank you guys for this opportunity and allowing me to sit in and to chime in when I was able to chime in. This is much needed. And I thank you. I'm definitely going to be sharing your podcast with individuals because this is definitely needed. So I appreciate you guys for your time, and I appreciate what you're doing because this is needed. It's really
Yeah.
needed. And I love how, we may disagree, but it's okay to disagree, but do it in an appropriate way. And this is an appropriate way. And I appreciate you guys for this.
Well, you're welcome to come back anytime too. I mean that sincerely. I hope you do. We're on every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So if you're interested in coming back, that would be great. We'd love to have
Well, thank you. And y'all have a great night.
you.
You
Good
too.
night.
Take care. Good night.
Well, that leaves me and you, Mr. President.
Yeah, it's weird why you called me that. Was all day, even though I talked to some other people, friends, and everybody. It was like they was at the hair salon. They was asking me, how's the president doing? I've been seeing on his broadcast, podcasts and whatnot, his broadcasts, his live shows, and then she said, yeah, he's doing great. So she told me something about that. So everybody walk around the neighborhood, they know me. They don't say Michael no more. They call me Mr. President. So it's kind of I find that kind of weird, you
You like
know.
that, though, don't you?
Um,
Come on now, you know you do.
I respect it. I respect it. I respect it. To thinking me that way. I may not look, like right now because of stress and everything. And Lord have mercy. But I'll look better soon. Don't worry.
Did
And
anybody ever tell you that you sound like Obama? I mean, just your voice.
well, why you think Trump came after me? He's like, oh, not another Obama again. Oh, hell no. Get the helicopter.
I'm not saying you're like him. I'm saying, just your voice. Your
Yeah,
voice sounds like him.
yeah. I've been told that. I did not copy. It just kind of flows.
Yeah, it's your voice. Oh, by the way, we don't hear that echo tonight. So evidently you have taken care of that, brother. I appreciate it.
We had to work out to figure it out. I'm pretty quick on
Yeah.
my feet to figure things out. Just we got to talk. So that's the kind of president we need. You know what I'm saying? But we got a problem with some audio or something like that. And I don't know a damn thing about it hardly, but I will figure it out and we will make it work. So
The
that's what
only
we do.
echoes I heard tonight was, I think, was from Angela's background. Evidently, there were other people, and
But she has the computer on and the TV on or TV on.
yeah.
Something
Uh,
like that.
but I'm always glad to see you here, brother. I'm always glad you're here. You're always welcome.
Well, I'm always be here, and then like I said, when we blow up, they're gonna look at this and like every show, they're gonna look at this, or ask you questions, interview you, and you just tell them like, hey, Michael is just he knows he may not be like the other presidential candidates, but those presidential candidates will wish that they had what Michael has. And what I have is courage and
I
cojones.
I know you said you're voting to debate somebody, but you like me to find you somebody to debate with,
Yes,
even if they're not a presidential candidate.
it could be citizens. That could be opposite. I love the opposite. Like then look, I'm Democrat or I'm kind of Republican, so not like mainly Republican, not this Republican, like the MAGA Republican, not that. I'm talking about the original, back in the old school Republicans. I'm part of that, and I'm part of Democrat, and mostly independent, but a progressive overall. But I would love to debate anybody anytime. I do that online. I debate people every day on my page and other pages as well on Facebook and TikTok and all them. They challenge me, and I hit them with those, letters from FBI and my
Maybe we can
family.
do something else. We can get you a debate going, and I get to moderate. Yeah.
Hey, that we could do that. That I would love that. If you can contact another presidential candidate, if you can't get a citizen that would love to like challenge me to see if I can get their vote. If I can get their vote live on your show, that means you know what? A lot of people say, you know what? I might vote for that man. I might vote for that man. Well, that's what we need.
Do you need to do anything else? Let me ask you this. I don't know if you ever thought about it or not.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered running as an independent? Because if you run as an independent, you don't have to worry about getting nominated. You're going to be in the general election no matter what.
Right. I mean, I've already considered that. I've already gave warnings, especially to the Democratic Party, that you have a superstar to use it, to use this person, but if they're unwilling and unable, and they're still blocking my story from coming out by using the Justice Department, and saying telling the Justice Department, telling the news not to run my story, then yeah, I mean, there's plenty of time to make that change. I mean, before the end of the year. So I'm constantly.
Anything else? You have to jump through any more hoops or anything?
Well, I mean, the story is. Without saying too much, I know the story's about to come on the news, but the fight is still ongoing on blocking it. But I know people told me that it's about to come out through the news, and what I'm going through now, just preparing myself, learning more and more about the people's plight and about what the world's going through, and finding unity. That's the only way that we can solve the problems, and have somebody of this generation that can understand the pains. And like I said, the government, everybody who's protecting me, they like what I'm saying. It's not like I said anything wrong. I even talked about what happened in Israel and the Palestinians. I went straight at the government of Israel, and love the people of Israel and the people of Palestine. I've already came up with plans on how to solve that issue. The peacekeepers, like, if we're all friends, then when we get there, y'all shouldn't be shooting or doing anything to harm each other. If you hit us, then we have a problem. And but the government of what's his name, Benjamin Netanyahu, no, he's like a mini Trump to me. He's like, to me, seriously. You can talk about all religious and all this and all that, but your own people in the streets, and you shooting them with water cans and rubber bullets, and they flying the Israeli flag, you taking across their damn democracy. America will not stand with any nation or any government of that nation, but we stand with the people because they want freedom. That would take away their freedom. I won't take that. I won't stand for that. And we're supposed to be friends. Friends don't have to say yes all the time. Real friends say no when it's not meeting our.
Yeah, I've got a lot of friends I don't agree with on much of anything.
Right. So they like my answers, and so that's why I just thank God that I will have the opportunity, and once my story comes out, and if the Democratic Party doesn't take a hold, I don't need the Democratic Party. I don't need the Republican Party leadership. I don't need neither one of them. I can create my own damn party and galvanize the people behind it, and we create a new front, a new frontier, a new American revolution. Not just with not just with bullets and bombs and all that other stuff back in the Civil War and all that, or try to not Civil War, sorry, against the English or whatnot, but with word, love, and bring it together.
I know when I ran for U.S. Congress in 2020, I knew I couldn't get the nomination from the Republicans or the Democrats. So I ran as an independent, and I got to be on, the general election. And it was really cool getting to vote for myself in the booth. Wow, I get to vote for myself. And that made it all worthwhile just doing that.
That feeling though, it's part of America. Is that it's in our blood. We feel it. If you run, you feel proud. You're serving your nation. It just, oh my God. I felt that same way when I ran. I voted for myself, and even though I was under constant threat from the damn very beginning, I never really had a fair shot at going at it, the right way, possibly. And I thought about this. I'm like, I figured, what happens if Trump never threatened me, right? What happens if I had to, interject what, that kind of story? And most people think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But what if I just start off regular, right? And just meet and talk with the people and not sound crazy and sound intelligent, like I know what I'm talking about. And galvanize that way. Will I be in a better position now? And I thought about it. I'm like, well, kind of no, because I didn't even know who I was truly with my bloodline and all that without Trump threatening my life. And it really made me dig into who I was and what my family was about. And my family came around after I came out and said what happened. And they kind of put two and two together about my family history and why Trump would have threatened me that way.
Is your family supporting your candidacy?
Quietly. I'm stirring the hornet's nest about the FBI. Soon the FBI, I'm running for president. I want to lock up Trump, and I want to get rid of Biden. I got $2 billion. That's what black man you ever know. Honestly, no, we never had this. So,
do you have any yard signs for people or bumper stickers or anything like that?
It'll be coming. You know, like I said, I'm glad I started off early. I worked diligently with my lawsuit early. Um, you know, with public opinion on my side, if my story comes out before the decision with the appeals court to remove the judge because of Trump on my case, and that's in November, so I expect my story to be out soon. Public opinion will change the thinking of those three judges. So, and if I win the case, then you know, the first time a presidential candidate has ever been threatened by a sitting U.S. president, at the same time had to survive for almost what 5 years now, had to file his own lawsuit because I was being blocked by both administrations under the defamation of cover of law of getting legal representation. So my rights have been violated in so many different ways, and at the same time, I've been threatened by the former president of the military. That's never been heard of, and to survive all that to get where I'm at, it's just by the grace of God and my willpower of not giving up.
Well, that's good, brother. You got to believe in what you're doing, or there ain't no point doing it, right?
Yeah, I can't lay down. I got my shirt rebuttoned wrong. I'm sorry. I'm trying to hurry up and come on, but I wasn't feeling all the way right. But this is what the American people need. They need somebody regular, somebody that's not, like artificial. Just somebody of the people, like a neighbor.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what the people trust. That's what the people demand. That's what the people want in Congress and in the White House, and that's why I'm running. And hopefully, if I have the opportunity, just for y'all to research, ask me any questions, challenge me. I like to be challenged. I love to be challenged. I mean, I think nobody can top since Donald Trump threatened me with helicopters. He didn't even talk to me. He just tried to have me killed. So if I can survive that, I think I don't have to worry about nobody challenging me.
All right. Brother, I will let you go, and I'll say good night, and hopefully you can join us Sunday night.
Yeah, I want to get my hair cut because I'm tired of wearing this hat. And I told you earlier. I mean, no, I love the hat. Oh, I love my browns. I want people to see my eyes, see my face. But with my allergic situation, I'm trying to get my hair cut in the right way and look more presentable, so y'all can see what I really look like. But you take a look at the pictures. Michael D. Landingham online for president, the people's candidate for the people's justice. LandinhamCase.com is where you'll see the text message between me and President Trump on December 8th, 9th, and 10th of 2018, just 13 days after I announced my run. And Landingham versus Department of Justice will show you the hugest cover-up in American history, where a president had threatened a presidential candidate, failed, and up to now, they try to cover it up under two different administrations, under two different parties. So take a look at it. Please share.
There you go.
Yeah, wear your mask. I know you don't want to wear a mask. Wear your mask. Think about the boosters. If you just think about it, but wear your mask. Make sure you have hand sanitizer. We have to get back and protecting ourselves, because if we don't, we're gonna slip and fall on this one.
All righty. Well, I'll say good night to you. Thanks everyone for tuning in again to the Night Crew. Feel free to share this video all over the place and subscribe to my channel if you want to, and come back again Sunday night, same time, and we'll be back at it again. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
See you on the next time.